GT1 Expedition. This was most likely, for sure in the 8 years I've been in the product department, the most intricate, most complex, most maddening, most exciting project I think we've ever worked on. A lot of complexity, a lot of innovation, and a lot of trial and error built into this helmet. So first of all, let's start off with the brief stage, like what we were trying to accomplish. A modular helmet should be able to do a few things really well. Because of the nature of the clamshell, it closed down around the face, have a really quiet cabin, be super comfortable. And the main functionality is to be able to raise the chin bar, be able to talk to a fellow rider or your riding partner, take a drink of something, just not have to take your helmet on and off throughout a full day's ride. And in a touring perspective, that's something that you deal with quite frequently because you're on the road for really long days, many days in a row. We started from that point, like what are the unique problems that we're trying to solve there? Big one was aerodynamics. And so that was a place that we spent a lot of time. How can we improve the aerodynamics of the helmet? And to do that, we found that we had to fundamentally think differently about how the side plate mechanism operated and how the clamshells sort of closed together. So another thing that we wanted to do when we started out at the brief stage of this, before we even put pen to paper, was make sure that we were tackling both passive and active safety. And in doing so, we worked very closely with our optics partners, with our factory partner, but also with KOROYD. KOROYD played a big role in the safety part of this helmet. We changed fundamentally the way that we use the KOROYD tubes, using sort of a sandwich EPS configuration. So EPS right underneath the shell, then the layer of KOROYD, and then another layer of EPS, and then of course the rest of your internals that are built out. And that does a few different things that we're really excited about. Number one, having EPS up underneath the helmet, like the shell, helps prevent heat from transferring through the shell onto the rider's head. And the reason that's good is because as you've got your airflow coming in, whether you're slow speed or high speed moving, you've also got to manage the heat that's coming off of your head, and it needs a place to go. And so being able to go up through the EPS channeling, through the KOROYD tubes and out the upper EPS channeling and out also means that you're not transferring heat down through the tubes into the head directly. And that's a big one because that helps on the passive safety side of things, which is really keeping the rider riding all day fresh, particularly towards the end of the day when fatigue really sets in. And that's the point where you're more likely to have an incident, and we're trying to prevent that. What we did on this side plate mechanism. This is a great area of focus because we swung and missed at this a couple of different times. I think we went through a couple of hundred CAD revisions that we tried to get to do this unique feature, and ultimately we failed at it. We had to go back to the drawing board, work with our factory partner to come up with what ended up being something that actually worked. And what we were trying to achieve was to get the face shield to close in to the shell flat to the top of the shell. And what that does is just give us better aerodynamics. We knew through 3D printing and testing in the wind tunnel that if we could get the front of the helmet to be perfectly flat, that we were gonna get really great aerodynamics testing. And we did it by creating what we call a dynamic position pivot point. On the GT1 Expedition, as you open that chin bar, it kicks the whole mechanism out as it rises. And so it's able to come back in when you close it. It kicks out, and then at the last second, it closes back in, nice and flush and flat to the shell. And that was also gonna leave a little bit of wiggle room on the design side, the common sort of cue ball shape that you find in a lot of modulars in the market. We wanted to add a little bit of that KLIM flavor, that KLIM element, not lose out or at the detriment of losing out on aerodynamics. So the makeup of the GT1 Expedition shell and chin bar is made of advanced composites and carbon fiber, which is all built into a hand-laid shell. Specifically in the world of modular helmets was really making sure that the carbon fiber chin bar was built in a way where it's stable, where it's going to close properly and work basically for the duration of the lifetime of the helmet. So one of the things we spent a lot of time, in addition to the side plate mechanism and in the way that the chin bar and face shield close on the GT1, was on the optics side of things, also on the gasketing. We really wanted to create a gasket around the face shield that was going to protect the side plate mechanism, help reduce vibration, and quiet down the cabin. This is a premium EPDM gasket. You can touch it and feel it. It's plush and soft, has a negative cavity behind it. When the face shield closes down, which is self-adjusting, sucks into the gasket and it prevents water and weather from getting in and really reduces vibration and quiets the cabin down. So the GT1 face shield has a ton of technology packed into it. To start, it's a super HD face shield that maintains optical class 1 clarity when the pin lock is installed. And we have a max vision pin lock. Working with our partner Pinlock, we've been able to maintain optical class 1 clarity with the pin lock installed. It also covers almost the entirety of the face shield, and that just gives the rider better FOV, and you're not going to get any fogging in that zone. So it's really part of that passive safety that we're really proud of. Then in addition to that, we've got a new photochromic story we're really excited about, because in its darkest state, it goes that last third, it retracts from darkest to lightest in a really short time span. And that's super important when you've got, for example, going through a tunnel or going around a corner that's got a lot of shade trees or canyons or things like that. The ventilation, we've got a top rocker vent that has 2 vent ports that flow air down through the EPS, down into the KOROYD tubes over the head, and out through negative pressure on the back of the head, 4 different exhaust ports. And then we've got the 2 chin vents, and those are really unique because they're operated by a cam lock system. First one on top sends airflow through a diffuser into the face shield, not directed at the eyes, and that helps keep the face shield clear and fog-free. And the bottom vent, when that's in the open position, it drives air just basically in towards the bottom of the face and fills up the cabin. So if you look at the bottom of the helmet, we've taken a really minimalist approach on our trim. We didn't want to overbuild the trim portion. So you're going to see it around the front of the chin bar, and you'll see some trim around the back on the bottom of the exhaust ports. From there, you're going to see the neck roll, which is made up of premium perforated goat suede leather. All of the internals built out with multi-density cheek pads and crown liner that are lined with our burr material, which when wet helps cool the rider down. It's super premium, really comfortable.
Hey, this is Alex from the Hard Parts team. We're super excited to launch this helmet, the GT1 Expedition. There's a lot of challenges that we've had to overcome, but as a team we were able to pull through, help each other out and make it happen. So yeah, and we're looking forward to show you guys the new GT1.
So on the GT1 Expedition, it's almost impossible to count up the man hours, the sweat equity, the investment that we put into this helmet, but we're truly proud of this ground up, groundbreaking modular that we've built. We can't wait for you to try it. It's going to be a quieter, more comfortable ride, best aerodynamics in class, and one of the most unique, uncommon riding experiences you've ever had in a modular helmet. We're really excited for you to try this out.